You are welcome to yet another episode of HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show, where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. R. Kelly remains one of the most talented, influential and successful artists in music history. A man whose songs shaped an entire generation, and whose voice became the soundtrack of love, hope and inspiration. But today, R. Kelly isn't on a stage. He isn't celebrated for his music. Instead, he sits behind bars fighting not only for his freedom but for his very life. What is happening to R. Kelly right now is far more than just a legal battle. It is a story of power, corruption and a system determined to silence a man before the truth can be revealed. In recent months, shocking revelations have emerged from inside the prison walls where R. Kelly is being held. According to his legal team, R. Kelly was the target of a deliberate assassination plot. Not an accident, not a misunderstanding but a coordinated effort to permanently silence him. Reports show that prison officials allegedly approached leaders of the Aryan Brotherhood, a notorious prison gang, to carry out a hit on Kelly. Even more disturbing, Kelly's attorneys claim that he was given a near-lethal dose of medication while in solitary confinement. A dose so dangerous that it caused him to collapse and be rushed to the hospital. Doctors discovered blood clots in his legs and lungs, placing his life at extreme risk. And yet, instead of keeping him under professional medical care, prison authorities removed him from the hospital prematurely and sent him straight back to solitary confinement. Back to the same place where the near-fatal event had occurred. Kelly's legal team has filed urgent motions to protect him, warning that his life is in imminent danger. But so far the Department of Justice has refused to act on it. Rather than launching an investigation, federal prosecutors have dismissed the claims as baseless and fanciful conspiracy theories. To them, R. Kelly's life doesn't matter. By refusing to even acknowledge the risk, the DOJ is sending a very dangerous message that if something were to happen to Kelly, there will be no accountability, no investigation and no justice. If this story sounds familiar, it should. Because we've seen it before. Another legendary black entertainer, Michael Jackson, faced a similar pattern of events. Relentless allegations, public humiliation and an international smear campaign. For years, Michael Jackson spoke about being targeted by powerful interests. He openly warned that people were trying to destroy him to gain control over his vast music catalog and wealth. But when he raised these concerns, the system ignored him, brushing off his warnings as paranoia. Then, in 2009, Michael Jackson was gone. Dead under mysterious circumstances, officially blamed on the negligence of a single doctor. But anyone who looked closely could see the bigger picture. Years of harassment and isolation had left him vulnerable, and the forces seeking to profit from his downfall got exactly what they wanted. Now, history is repeating itself with R. Kelly. Just as Michael Jackson's pleas for help were ignored, R. Kelly's urgent warnings are now being treated the very same way. The system refused to protect Michael, and it is equally refusing to protect Mr. Kelly. Both men were more than just artists. They were symbols of black independence. Their music catalogs were worth billions of dollars, and their success challenged the very structure of the music industry. For some imperialists, that was unacceptable. When we step back and look at the bigger picture, a troubling truth emerges. R. Kelly's prosecution was never about justice for alleged victims. It was about power, control and profit. The federal government used the RICO Act, a law originally designed to dismantle organized crime syndicates, to criminalize the everyday business operations of a music star. Kelly's entourage, assistants and business associates were rebranded as members of a so-called criminal enterprise. Concerts, travel arrangements, and professional dealings were twisted into evidence of a sex trafficking ring. This unprecedented move wasn't just legally questionable. It was unconstitutional. At the same time, prosecutors handed out immunity deals to accusers and witnesses, allowing them to avoid prosecution for their own misconduct in exchange for testimony against Kelly. This created a perfect storm of corruption where individuals were incentivized to lie and embellish their stories to secure their own freedom and profit. The result? A trial built on shaky foundations, where truth was buried beneath sensational headlines and manufactured narratives. Meanwhile, powerful corporate interests quietly benefited as R. Kelly's revenue streams were seized, his assets frozen and his legacy tarnished. This is the exact same pattern that surrounded Michael Jackson in his final years. Both men were targets because their independence threatened those who profited from their work. And just like Michael, Kelly now faces not just imprisonment but possible elimination. Why would anyone want R. Kelly dead? The answer is simple: because the truth is dangerous. Kelly's case is still under appeal. If he lives long enough for his legal team to succeed, it could expose the entire corrupt process that put him behind bars. It could reveal how prosecutors manipulated the RICO Act, how immunity deals were abused to build a false case, and how corporate interests played a role in destroying a black superstar for profit. For those who engineered his downfall, that kind of exposure cannot be allowed. Silencing Kelly permanently would ensure that their secrets stay hidden. That's why his near-fatal overdose cannot be seen as an isolated incident. It was a warning sign. A glimpse of what could happen if action isn't taken now. And by refusing to investigate, the DOJ is effectively green-lighting further attacks. They are repeating the exact same mistake they made with Michael Jackson, ignoring the danger until it's too late. God forbid if R. Kelly dies in prison, the narrative will be carefully controlled. We will be told it was a health problem, or a tragic accident. The focus will shift away from the real issues, the unconstitutional use of RICO and Mann Acts, the corruption behind immunity deals and the DOJ's refusal to protect a man whose life was clearly at risk. Just as Michael Jackson's death was framed as the fault of one careless doctor, R. Kelly's death would be framed as inevitable. And the people truly responsible would walk away untouched, their agenda fulfilled. But we cannot allow that to happen. The world must see what is truly at stake, and not just the life of one man, but the principle of justice itself. R. Kelly deserves a fair trial. He deserves protection from those who would silence him. And most of all, he deserves to live long enough for the truth to come out. Because if history repeats itself and R. Kelly is silenced like Michael Jackson before him, the message will be clear that in this system, truth doesn't matter. Only power does. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say? To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.